The Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Kingsley Chinda, has shed light on the controversies surrounding defections by members of the party to other political parties. However, the process and procedure for declaring a seat vacant are unclear, sparking debates on whether it can be done by mere declaration from the Speaker of the House of Representatives or requires further action.
My name is Kingsley Chinda. I represent Abo Federal Constituency. I'm an Ikori man from Rivers State, and I serve as the minority leader of the 10th Assembly House of Representatives. Clearly, as a political party, that's the People's Democratic Party, we already have some matters that are pending in court that has to do with the issues of defection by members of the party to other political parties. And I believe that justice will be done in these cases. And like you rightly said, Section 86 of the Constitution provides clearly that where a member who was elected on the platform of a political party decides to leave his party to join another party, going through the normal processes of joining another party, that he would lose his seat. That is one of the conditions under which a parliamentarian would lose his seat. But the question then is, what is the process and procedure? Is it by mere declaration by the Speaker? Or otherwise, can INEC sumo to conduct an election to fill such a seat? And I think that the consensus has been that where that happens, yes, as members will call attention of the public and the House to it. Particularly what I have seen happening, most of the members whose announcements are made on the floor, you find out that they have not gone through the normal process and procedure, which would even make it difficult for a law court to take a decision. What do I mean? The Constitution never mentioned defection. The Constitution expressly said where you are elected on the platform of a party and you become a member of another political party. So if you also followed my objection, one of the objections I raised is that, Mr. Speaker, you cannot even read that letter because this is not the appropriate place. Unless there is clear evidence that the colleague is now a member, registration at your ward level, proper defection or registration to become a member of another political party from the ward level up to the state level, then you can notify us at the National Assembly. Although all those objections were overruled by Mr. Speaker in his wisdom, and most recently, he declined declaring the seat of any member vacant, and I'm sure his decision is hinged on the case of Abegunde, which the Supreme Court decided that the proper thing to do is to approach the court for such declaration. Party is very viable. The People's Democratic Party is very viable. Let me also tell you that in a large family, you have different characters, but that does not make the family unviable. You have people from different tints and different angles. And also in the game of politics, you have different interests, all in the same party. I think that it is just the chase and pursuit of interest is what is playing out. Also recall and remember that we are getting close to our party convention, which is coming up this year. So different groups are warming up for that convention. Members of the party will contest. Contesting among themselves does not mean that the party is in crisis, no. And I also tried to correct that impression on the floor of the House yesterday when it came up. The party is not in crisis. There are disagreements amongst members, but all that will end by the time we go to the convention and come out. We'll all agree and then come out as one strong, indivisible force.
Okay, so finally, a lot of stakeholders, or let me say political analysts,
Partially, I would say yes, because one of the problems we have in Nigeria today concerning our politics and democracy is that of ideology. We do not join political parties based on ideology. If it were so, it would be difficult for you to shift ground easily. And so that's one of the things that we think that as politicians and even as a country that is struggling to ensure we entrench democracy, that we must begin to teach party ideology. We also must begin to set up political parties based on ideology, not just manifesto. Because if you look at the manifesto of all the parties, they appear to be almost the same. And in other climes, you have parties that are left and then to the right, and a little bit, of both mix. You have Democrats, you have Republicans in the US. The ideology is very clear and straight. And so if you're moving, you will only move when you have changed your ideology and perception on how society should be managed. If you're somebody who believes that, look, education should be free, housing should be free, people should have everything done by government, you know the political party to join to achieve that. If you are a capitalist to the core and you believe that nature has made it so, everybody cannot be equal, so the rich must exist and the poor should also exist as the poor, you also know the political party to join to pursue that ideology, but it's not the same in Nigeria here. You see a mixture of people from different background, different belief, pursuing what? One goal. The goal they are pursuing is to win elections and perhaps be in public office. And so if that party can no longer provide a platform for you to be in public office, you have to shift to another party that can provide a platform for you. And let me also put it on record. What is happening today to the minority parties, that is the movement of members, is not new. When PDP was the party in power, we harvested a lot of members from the opposition party. And tomorrow, when PDP comes back to power, we're also going to harvest the same set of people you see moving from PDP to APC. You will see them come back to PDP. A lot abound in the society. I don't need to give you an example. There are so many of us, leaders in high positions that have moved from one party to the other. In fact, some of them have tested up to 5, 6 different political parties. So it's not strange, but we must seek for a way to begin to ensure that we stop that from happening. And I can tell you that the caucus of the minority in the House is likely to meet today to consider those issues and begin to look at solutions. I agree with you completely that every politics, particularly in our climate, is local. And so what applies to me might not apply to you. I give an example. One of our very strong member, Amos Magaji, who left. It's based on local politics. It's not that he wanted to jettison the party or he is no longer in tandem with us as his colleagues and friends. No, it's based on local politics. But however, what we want to achieve is to caution ourselves, even as politicians. There are times you take a step that you find out that the timing is not right. It could be the right step, but at the wrong time. At another time, you can do the right thing. If you're doing it at the wrong time, it has consequences. So we must continue to talk to ourselves, to caution ourselves and all that, and then to encourage each other. The way things are today, it might not be the same tomorrow. But for me, I will advise every politician. Movement is personal. Changing from one political party to the other is personal. But in course of doing that, you need to be very calculative, and then you need to ensure that it is done at the right time. The Southeast should start from, yes, security in the Southeast first should start from the Southeast. you should start from the southeast. You see a lot of us today, rather than even talk about the security at home, we pretend as if nothing is happening in the southeast. You continue to cover it, you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to tackle it. Either you are afraid or you are shy. When Boko Haram started, 7th Assembly, we were in this house. Some of us were screaming and shouting and trying to bring motion on the floor of the house. But then, some of our brothers that were directly affected were afraid, telling us that they cannot discuss it because if they do, they cannot go back home. And so for their safety, we should please avoid discussion of that issue. But today, there is no week we don't talk about it on the floor of the house. So perhaps if we had started early, we would have covered it. The same thing is happening in the Southeast. So I am charging Southeasterners. The Deputy Speaker of the House started a wonderful project to bring peace back to the Southeast. How many of us have fully embraced it and come out to condemn and talk about it? The Southeasterners should brace up. We are ready to give the support. I'm ready to support anything that will bring peace in any part of the country. So what I'm saying is charity should begin at home.
He stressed that proper procedure involves registration at the ward, state, and national levels, and the Speaker cannot unilaterally declare seats vacant by way of just announcement. Comfort Olayinka, DCTV News.